I'd say set aside time where you can think about what are the things that bring me fulfillment, but two, on the flip side.
Can you speak to the person listening right now? I want you to think back to your banking time when you was in this career as a banker, and then you were making this calling into becoming a full-time minister, or not a full-time, but an ordained minister. Can you speak to the person who may be in a similar situation as you're in, where maybe they're in a job, or maybe they're in a career, or maybe they're in college pursuing a degree or something that they maybe have realized that they're not very passionate about and are thinking about making this transition into something else? May not be specifically to become a pastor, but maybe they're into education, but now maybe they feel like they're being called into marketing, or maybe they were in med school, but now they want to become an engineer, whatever the case may be. Can you speak to the person who may be in that situation, in that period where they want to make that transition, but they're not sure if they should or how to do so? Can you speak to that person who may be wanting to get into something different or has a different passion, kind of like what you did when you made that shift?
Yeah, because I know for me, like, I know that eventually, I was at the bank, like, I got into this. I guess I knew in like the back of my mind, like this, isn't really bringing fulfillment, like this, doing this work at my desk or getting that paycheck.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I didn't feel like I was doing the most that I could for God's kingdom. So for me, I think that time of reflection was helpful for me. So just, I would say set aside time where you can think about what are the things that bring me fulfillment, but two, on the flip side, are those things being fruitful to helping God's kingdom?
Yeah.
I'd say that's a key. And then, submitting yourself to God, placing your faith in Him. I talked about, saying that prayer of asking Him, what can I do for His kingdom? So, just asking God to, guide you, direct you, show you your talent, show you your gifts. I'd say also understand that you might not get your answer the next day or in that moment. So sometimes to get your answer, you might have to wait, because, I was praying that prayer before the seminar for almost half a year, praying that prayer of, how can I be used for God's kingdom? What does He want me to do? So yeah, just understanding the component of, sometimes it might take time to get that answer that you want. And then too, just not being afraid and stepping into that change, stepping into that transition too, because I think that can be something hard to want to go through, is that you're already in this groove, you know how certain things work, but then if you go do this change of occupation, change of career, change in anything, there's going to be, new challenges, new circumstances that come up. So I think a lot of it too, you can become comfortable in the place where you're at.
Right.
I think that being comfortable where you're at, even though you want to move on, or you want to do something else, but you just find yourself in a comfortable spot, so you don't want to change, because change can be scary sometimes, to want to face something that's different.
That's very good. That's very good. Last thing I'll add is, one of the things that I kind of been learning with this men's mentoring group I've been a part of is the fact that living your purpose can be done multiple different ways. There isn't one true way to live out your purpose. For some, it may be to work that 9-to-5 job to be able to provide for your family or for yourself, and then to live your purpose outside of that 9-to-5 job. So whether it be after work, going out into the community and doing outreach, or volunteering at a food pantry or something like that. So for some people, living out your purpose can be something that can be done outside of your 9-to-5 career. Not saying that it's bad to have like a 9-to-5 career. You can't do that and still follow God and still live your purpose, because you can. But also on the flip side of that, your 9-to-5 may be your passion and your career and your purpose. One simple example would be like becoming an ordained minister. That would be an example of like taking your 9-to-5 being your passion. But for some, it may be where you do your passion when you're not doing your full-time paid for job, and that's okay too. So it's a thing like what Sean's been talking about, to go to God and to ask Him and to have that discernment to be able to truly understand, God, is this transition something I should do, or should I still do what I'm currently doing and doing this outside of that other time when I'm not at work, whatever the case may be. So just go to Him, follow Him, and He'll lead you. But at the same time, you got to be willing to be uncomfortable too, like what Sean talked about. You can sit and weigh out your options all day long, but until you like, okay, I'm gonna take a step, try this, see if it works, then you're not gonna get anywhere.